there's been a series of like raids, and I would just say that these poor girls are getting rousted up, if anything, by the government. But there's been a lot of like raids on Asian massage parlors. Um, my question to you is, what do you think about this specific target, the Asian massage parlors? And then secondly, the key is we have an administration that's sort of like a lame duck administration, and there's going to be a transition to a new city prosecutor who hasn't mentioned an attack on Asian massage parlors as like a keynote of the election. What's the role of like a lame duck city prosecutor, and how does that relate back to these like raids on Asian massage parlors?
So the massage parlor investigations started with Keith Kanashiro. He put together a team of investigators within his office to start investigating and basically going after these massage parlors. But interestingly, he wasn't charging anybody after they
Yeah.
raided the massage parlors. And that to me is a big red flag.
Hmm.
So I don't know why they were doing it, but I will say that there was a precedent set with the gambling machines with Tracy
Yoshi
um,
Yoshimura.
Yoshimura's
Yeah.
case. So Keith Kanashiro kind of tested the waters with the gambling machine cases. And basically what he did was he took private property, Tracy Yoshimura's and the other defendants' gambling machines, but he didn't charge them for a really long time.
Mm.
And I believe our federal district court judge, Judge Kobayashi, said that that was okay. You could take that property, forfeit it, and then assign it to the asset forfeiture division of the prosecutor's office, even if there was no charge.
Mm.
And although that's legal, to me, that's very shady because if you're going to take someone's property, then you have to charge them with a crime. You can't just go in and take private property. I think that's unjust.
Hmm.
So I don't know why Keith Kanashiro initiated these investigations, but you know, it could be that whatever cash they're they're taking during these raids, they're able to keep and assign it to the asset forfeiture division of the prosecutor's office because they laid the foundation and precedent with the gambling machines. And so because this is legal, they're allowed to do that. But to my knowledge, there hasn't been any charging based on those raids.
Wow, yeah. I could have a whole nother podcast just specific to like the Asian massage parlor like chargings, because usually there's like the show or kabuki theater for the press, and you see like this raid and there's always like a setup where the media is there, and then a lot of times nobody gets charged, and then the times that the people do get charged, it's been my observation because I bail out like probably close to all of them, honestly. For the most part, they go to court. And it seems as though they blanket charge everybody in the massage parlor specifically to try to get one or two people. And I've just never, it's just never really sat right that somebody who might just be in the massage parlor now has to go through this whole rousting when they initially go and do the raid. There's always cash somewhere in there, so you never know where this cash is going. You know, it's being seized, and where is it ultimately going? And then when the girls do get charged, it's always these older Asian ladies who aren't these menaces to society, and then they always get charged like 6, 8, 10 people in an indictment when they're really just going after the one person. They're hoping that somebody rolls over, and then they can build the case against the one person. There's too much collateral damage in that. I hate how they do that. There's too much collateral damage.
Yeah, so prostitution is hard because you have to have one of the two that made the agreement for money for sex testify. And so when I was a deputy prosecuting attorney, we had the morals division. The police officers, male police officers, would go into the massage parlors, get the agreement for sex for money, and then we would arrest the prostitute and charge her. Um, there were
The
a lot
sex
of problems.
worker. She's a sex worker.
Sex
She's a
worker.
sex worker.
Okay.
She's a sex worker. She's involved in the industry. She's a sex worker.
Yeah, so that's what we were doing. But I think with the recent increase in trafficking, that may have been a reason for Keith Kanashiro to start these investigations into massage parlors.
Mm.
But again, to my knowledge, and I don't know everything that goes on in that office, but to my knowledge, they haven't charged anybody with sex trafficking, which is a huge charge. And if that was the intent in going after the massage parlors, then they should charge someone with sex trafficking. They shouldn't just be raiding these establishments with no charges. I think that's very unfair.
Yeah, and just I know you're in the position where you can't speculate, but I'm in the position where I could totally speculate. It seems as though on the federal level there was funding to be had for certain law enforcement divisions if they were targeting or going after human trafficking. So there's a budgetary sort of like surplus going around if you show that you're going after human trafficking. And then there's also what's being seized and then goes right back potentially at some point back to the city prosecutor's office. There's money, and sometimes they say follow the money, and I can't help but think we had a corrupt city prosecutor in Kathy K. Aloha. We had a corrupt police chief in Louis K. Aloha. There's all this money involved. I just think these poor, I mean, I guess I'm advocating on behalf of people that are doing things that are technically illegal, but I feel like we're just being heavy-handed with these Asian massage parlor workers as opposed to going after like more serious crimes, right?
Yeah, I mean, every prosecutor gets to choose how he or she wants to run the office, and Keith Kaneshiro made this, his priority. So Dwight Nadamoto followed along and has continued to go after massage parlors because Keith Kaneshiro made that his agenda.
Yeah, well, we got a new city prosecutor coming in. Hopefully things change. I don't think these older Asian gals need to be treated so poorly, but let's move on.